Because as human, we show our love and affection with the hugging. But for dogs, they are a different species. The hugging is not natural for them. And dogs who hate hugs, because they haven't learned that. Our society, our human society, is very complicated. There are a lot of rules that are not dog rules. It's human rules. You have a certain lifestyle. Your dog is entering your lifestyle. Sometimes you have to adjust your lifestyle to the dog you have. If you have a job that requires you to be away from home for more than 6-7 hours, don't get a dog.
Really?
Don't.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Bimpaw's Hug More, Love More, cozy podcast where we're going to show love for our furry friends with lots of hugs, cares, and happy moments. My name is TJ. I'm going to be your host today, and coming to our episode today, we have Joe.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
So you are a professional dog trainer.
So I'm a professional dog trainer, certified. I did all my formal training in France. And I have been doing a lot of positive reinforcement training as well back in France. And I started about 10 years ago. Before being professionally trained, I've been traveling around some countries and doing some training there as well. I ended up being a dog trainer because I think it's my vocation, it's a passion. And I really wanted to help people with dogs. And I could see around me people needed help, and dogs also needed help because a lot of misunderstanding between people and dogs. That's why I'm here today.
Yes, and that's why we want to have you here today, because we want to learn more about the communication between our furry friends and us, right? There's a lot of misunderstanding, especially from the first day coming home. We don't know our friends, what is their personalities, and how to get to know them. So you're going to be here and helping us and helping our listener today as well, so that
Sounds
we can
great.
have more useful tips so that they can use for their journey of love.
Perfect.
All right. So let's start with this one. When was the moment that you say that you're going to be a dog trainer? What inspired you?
I think when I was around 14 years old, I was already training my friends' dogs. So I grew up with no dogs, right? In my family, we didn't have a dog. And the reason is because my parents kept telling me, no, we're not going to have a dog this year because you are at school, your brothers and sisters at school, we are working. So there is no one at home to take care of the dog, right? So no time to take care of the dog, and the dog would be alone at home. So my parents taught me that from the beginning, that caring for a dog is a responsibility. If no one can take the responsibility, then you should not have a dog, right? So I learned that early. Although I couldn't have a dog, I really wanted to know more about them. I was curious to understand why people would connect with dogs. So I started to dig in this subject on my own. And around 14 years old, I wanted to do that training. In France, we have courses that start as early as 14, 15 years old to learn about dogs. But my parents wanted me to follow normal studies.
Is that like a official training or?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
You get a degree. After a few
Wow.
years study, you get a degree,
Starting
and then you
14,
can continue.
15 years old.
Yes. When I was 14, I already knew I wanted to be a dog trainer because I wanted to understand more about them, and I wanted to help people. I couldn't, but I started to, on my own, train my friends' dogs. And then going on holiday with my parents, train the dogs of the people I would meet, if they needed help, of course. And then growing up, I've been a pet sitter, dog walker in Paris mainly when I was a student. So I learned a lot more about dog body language, and I tried my training techniques there as well, learning more every year. And then finally, when I was able to study dog training, it was a few years later, but I already had the background and the knowledge of dog training. I just had to get that degree to make sure that I could start my own business as a dog trainer in France.
Yeah. So how was that first experience training your friend's dog?
sometimes you don't know where it's going to bring you, because your friend just says, my dog is barking too much, or my dog is lunging at other dogs in the street. What should I do? And when you don't have a formal training, you rely on the books and the knowledge you got from somewhere else. Today, you have internet, so you can get a lot more information. Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming because you're not too sure who to believe, right? But starting somewhere, you will try one technique. So when I'm with my friends, I tell them, okay, I read that in that book, let's try this method. And then you would try for a few days or a few weeks. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, all right, let's find another way. Yeah. And this builds the experience and the skills, over the years.
Yep.
And most of the time we were successful in finding a way that would work for the dog. But sometimes, and I have to be honest with you, sometimes we would use a little bit of punishment, pushing a little bit the dog here and there, or using the leash to tell the dog, stop to do that, stop doing that. But today, with the knowledge that I gained and the years of experience, that's not the techniques that I use anymore. And I'm going to work with people with a lot more understanding of what does your dog need and how you achieve, the behavior that you want by guiding your dog rather than forcing him to do things.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that the first step is getting to understand the need of your dog. So how we can understand the need?
Well, when you have a dog, you're going to live your life. You're going to do things with your dog. Right? And at some point, you're going to encounter some trouble. Like maybe your dog is having barking issues, or your dog is being worried in the street or at the coffee shop, or your dogs will lose confidence at some point, and you will try to understand why, right? When you are encountering these issues, the first thing would be to just, don't panic, and take some time to see what is the pattern, right? In which situations your dog is feeling uncomfortable and why. Your dog needs, when they are fulfilled, right? When you give him safety, when you give him security, when you give him enough love, right? They will be able to relax and fit in. Right. Our society, our human society, is very complicated. There are a lot of rules that are not dog rules. It's human rules.
Yeah.
So if you help your dog go through all these rules to understand, you have to be calm in these moments. You can go out and play in these moments. Then your dog will be able to be more comfortable in society.
Yeah.
Dog needs is a big, subject. Making sure that it gets all the basic food, shelter, water, and then safety, very important. I just mentioned it. But if your dog feels safe and can rely on you, there is no reason that they go rogue, right?
So, like you share, we need to watch him, observe, and to understand what is causing the stress. But how do we tell the difference between, let's say, a stressful barking, aggressive barking, or a happy barking?
Barking is just one thing among others.
All others, yeah.
It's interesting that you're talking about barking first, because the main way of communication for a dog is not vocalizations. It's not barking.
Yeah.
It's body language.
Body language.
The way they move is the number one way of communication for dogs. So we speak a lot. So this is why you're talking about barking first, is because we as human, we communicate with chatting. Hey, I need that. Can you give it to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling a bit tired. Can you? Right? But dogs will not tell you what they need, right? By their voice, right? They might sometimes, but the way they communicate first is by moving. If they go away from something, they don't want anything to do with that thing, right? If they move their body posture forward, they're a little bit more confident. If they are moving their body posture backwards, they are a bit more worried about things, right? If they are stable, then they are more relaxed dogs. It's the whole body that you have to look at. So when your dog is barking, look at the body as well. Is your dog is barking and all very tense and moving back, right? That may say that this dog is very fearful and is barking to get you away. And it may be barking as well to tell you, if you don't move away, I'm going to go for you, right? Or they might just be moving a little bit forward and say, hey, bark, bark, bark at you, then stop, look at you. Bark, 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 stop, look at you. Now they might be asking for something. What are they asking for? That's another question, right? But if you have a toy right there and the toy is right in front of you, might be the toy. Right? If you have you're preparing some food, might be the food. Right? But the barking, when the barking happens, look at the situation, look at the entire body of your dog, to understand.
So you say that we need to look at their body language. So what are the body language that we need to pay attention to? That we easily to miss.
Look at everything. But I understand as a dog guardian, dog owner, you don't always know how to look. So just take it easy.
This
Again,
is
look
the
at the
Beam
general body
Pause
posture
Hug
first.
More, Love More
And see if the
podcast.
dog is forward, backwards. If the dog is moving towards you or away from you, that are the big things that you can have a look at. And then there are a lot of subtle signs that are harder to catch. But once you know them and once you start to observe your dog more, you can get it. You can start to get more information about how your dog feels. So, for example, lip licking, yawning, looking away, like with the eyes or with the head, right? Avoidance. They might also lift a paw. That means something. We don't always think about it, but that means something. Licking your face. All of this, they are signs. They are signs that the dog might feel comfortable or not, right? Might avoid the situation or not.
So let's start with what you just mentioned there, the lip licking. I thought it was just like a normal lip licking, like, oh, I have a dry mouth. But it was not.
Most of the time, dogs will lip the lick a few times. It's very quick. Yeah, it's like a slip.
Like a flick.
Yeah, very fast. So if you don't see it at the right moment, the correct moment, you might miss it. But they often repeat it. And that's when they don't feel very comfortable with something. They're a bit stressed about the situation. Might repeat that a few times. And that tells the dog, not good with that. I'm not super comfortable with that.
How about a big yawn with a lip licking? What does it say?
Well, they might pair. There will be separated signs, right? But in one situation, you might have both of it. The yawning, most people, when they see it, they're like, oh, my dog is a little tired, really needs to take a nap or something. Right?
Yeah.
But yawning out of nowhere, it's also a sign of uncomfort, right? Of discomfort. They will say, I'm not quite all right with that situation right now. It's not a big stress, okay? It's the first signs of I'm not comfortable with something. But when we don't listen to these subtle signs, that's where it starts to get a little bit more obvious. The stress starts to be shown in a more obvious way, like growling, showing the teeth a little bit. Right? So when dogs repeat these subtle signals like lip licking and yawning, they will tell us already, I'm not comfortable. But because we don't see it, we let it go. And then the dog feels a bit more uncomfortable. And then we end up in aggression sometimes.
Okay. So if we cannot spot it early enough, then it can lead to aggressive. Okay.
It can.
And we don't want that.
We don't.
We don't want
Who
that.
wants to be bitten?
No. All right. So our guest earlier, we have a guest that he was sharing that he has 5 different dogs and they have different personalities. There are ones that love to be hugged. There are ones that really don't like to be hugged. So what can you tell about that as a trainer?
It's something. Because, something to think about. Because as human, we show our love and affection with the hugging. And we understand each other, right? We understand that if you hug your kid or your parents or your friends, they know this is how you tell them, I really care about you and I love you. But for dogs, they are a different species. Again, different way of communications. The hugging is not natural for them. If you think about it, have you ever seen two dogs hugging each other?
It's very rare.
Right? They will get close to each other. They will rub against each other. They might lick, each other. But they don't really hug each other, right?
No,
so when you go and hug your dog, most dogs feel a bit awkward about this situation. You're restraining them. You are, stopping their movements. They can't get away if they wanted to. So although they know you, they will not feel very comfortable about this. They can learn to enjoy it. Okay, so it's not something that is a big problem if you take the time to explain to your dog, hey, I'm doing this, but it's not forever. I'm doing this, but it's to tell you that I care about you. Right? And making sure that they always have an escape route is important. So you hug, but don't hug for an hour, right? Hug them and let them go. And if they stay, you can hug another one. You can do another hug, right? But you need to let them express too. Right? And dogs who hate hugs, it's because they haven't learned that. They are to live with humans. Be calm. Learning to be calm, learning to accept to be touched or to be hugged, learning to walk on a leash and not go too far and not pull like crazy, learning to pass by other dogs and people without getting all emotional. This is training for me.
But when the dog gets so excited and full of energy, is that a sign that they need a more energy draining activities like running or walking outside?
Well, all dogs have energy needs, right? So depending on the breed that you have, observe your dog, see how energetic they are during the day, take them on walks, right? If they are good outside, if they are not stressed outside, if they are not reactive towards dogs, kids, people outside, take them on walks 2, 3, 4 times a day if you can. It doesn't have to be long walks, but take them out so that they can discover the world, get their brain going, get some mental stimulation, some physical stimulation, so that they feel good and they can be relaxed at home. If they are not comfortable outside, which can be the case for dogs that have traumas or have behavioral issues due to other things, don't take them on walks. You know what I mean? You can find other ways to physically and mentally stimulate them at home. Take them out, not necessarily on a walk, but you can take them out of your house for a few minutes if they are worried dogs. Get them that outside world challenge and then back inside. Right? But how to see how big are your energy needs, your dog's energy needs, by observing and trying. Let's see. How is my dog after 2 walks and play inside? How is my dog after 1 walk and fetch? How is my dog after, right? So create your routine. You have a certain lifestyle. Your dog is entering your lifestyle. Sometimes you have to adjust your lifestyle to the dog you have if you haven't made the right choice in terms of which dog you have. But make it work. Observe your dog, see what your dog feels like. Are they more relaxed when they come back from a walk? Are they still very excited? Do they need to learn to be calmer? Right? Some dogs don't know how to stop because we never taught them. So sometimes it's not about too much energy. It's just they don't have a stop button. They don't have the off button.
Yeah.
So you need to do some training to help them.
Yeah. And let's say if we already have a dog at home and we want to have a companion for him or her, what's your recommendation on that?
How is your dog now?
This is
how
the
does your
Bean
dog
Paws
feel
Hug
about
More,
other dogs?
Love More podcast.
Why do you want a companion for your dog? Is it only a companion for your dog because he's lonely? You think he's lonely, right? Or is it for yourself because you want to adopt another dog, you want to welcome another soul in your house? It's not always a good idea to bring another dog home.
It's not always.
Not always, no, because again, each dog, they have their own personalities. And if your first dog just prefers to be the only dog of the house, right? If they don't really want to be sharing their space with other dogs.
So to understand about that, should we like bring friends for them to play with before we decided to have another one?
I mean, make sure that your dog is comfortable with other dogs. Yeah. Sometimes they are not super comfortable, but if you have a puppy, they might get along with the puppy. Manage. Don't just get both dogs meet at your house on the day you bring the puppy home. Right? Manage. Give them some separate time. Go out with them, you know. Don't always let them interact, because just leaving things to the dogs, it's not going to go right all the time, right? So be prepared. If your dog needs time to get adjusted to the presence of another dog, give them that time. If you see they're growling, or I always do this, you know, they always like have this lip going up to show the teeth, you know. Okay, that's a sign your dog is not comfortable. Separate. Give them time. Living in your house separately. So don't get another dog for the wrong reasons, right? If your dog is, your first dog has separation anxiety, or they are barking or distracting everything in your house when you're out, don't get a second dog to give them company, because your second dog might not answer that need. And your second dog might just be, you know, worried to be alone too. Well, alone. They might be worried to be without you too. So you're going to, instead of one dog that is bored or has separation anxiety, you're going to have two. Right?
But can we train a dog so that they would not suppress, but low down their anxiety being alone?
Yeah, you can train as in help your dog with all issues they might have. Right? So a dog that is worried when they are being alone, you might put them in a training situation where you are at home. You're actually not really busy going out, but you will go out for a very short period of time to help your dog to understand it's not because you go out that you are alone forever. Because they don't have the same sense of time and duration. They cannot, you know, look at their watch and say, oh, my mom or my dad has been out for 2 hours. It's so long. Okay, I need to do something. Right? They're not looking at the time, but they feel uncomfortable passing sometimes, right? Their emotion is like, oh, no one has been there for a while. What am I going to do? Right? So get out for a few minutes and come back in.
Okay.
And see what
we can extend that time.
Exactly, and see how your dog is feeling. Maybe some dogs, they will already lose it after 2 minutes, right? So if 2 minutes is too hard, you go out shorter, right? If it's a few seconds, if it's going and just put your hand on the doorknob, and that's enough for your dog to be like, oh my God, he's going out, right? So then, okay, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to teach him and help him to be calm when I walk toward the door and touch the doorknob. Right? So all of this is observing your dog. When is your dog comfortable? When is your dog not comfortable? And working from that. Right? So a dog that has separation anxiety or is just worried to see people going away, help them find this situation where they can learn, you know. They just have to learn in an easy setup, and then bit by bit you make it a little bit harder, a bit more challenging, but they always have to be ready. You know, if they are not doing it right, or if they are too stressed, or they are, you know, doing the wrong behavior, then okay, go back to an easy setup before you can challenge again.
All right. Is there a breed that you think may be more suitable for a starter? Let's say I have no experience with training a dog before or having a dog before. Is there a breed that's suitable for Vietnamese owner? And the lifestyle you can see here in Saigon?
That is a question you're requiring a precise answer. But I'm going to disappoint you.
No, it's all right.
Because
Okay.
I can't tell you what breed is good for a beginner. Because there are no breeds that will be good for a beginner. It's like I'm telling you, get a dog that already has all the programs to understand a human in your house. It doesn't exist. If you're a beginner and you want an easy dog, then don't get a dog. You know, I'm a bit strong with that because I don't want people to rush and adopt a dog because they want a dog. I want people to think about it. I want people to learn. If you are a beginner, you need to learn about dogs before you get a dog. It doesn't matter which breed. Learn about dogs. If you open your house and your heart to another living being that is not a human, it's another species, you need to learn how to communicate with them. You need to learn what they would need in general, right? We keep talking about needs here. So think about this species need. Even if you have a cat or a rabbit or anything else, learn about them. There are breed tendencies in terms of behavior, right? And energy needs. Yes. And some groups of dogs will match better your lifestyle. Think about, what do you do in your life? Are you someone who likes hiking? Are you someone who likes to watch Netflix? You can be both.
Right.
But how active are you in your life? How much time do you have? Time is crucial. If you have a job that requires you to be away from home for more than 6-7 hours, don't get a dog. You know,
Really?
don't. Unless you have a family and there are people at home who take care of the dog. If your dog is alone for more than 6 hours every day, it's not fair on the dog. Would you expect your young kid to be alone for 6 hours with no supervision?
That's going to be a terrible house when you return.
So if there is no one at home to take care of your dog has to be alone for 6 hours. Not fair. Right? Think about it. Maybe you can volunteer at a shelter. Maybe you can borrow your neighbor's dog. You know what I mean?
Like what you did with your friends.
Yeah, exactly. You can find the love and the joy of being with a dog and living with a dog in other ways than just having your own dog. Yeah. So look at your lifestyle. Do you have the time, the family setup, the job to be responsible for a dog for the next 10 to 20 years? If you know, oh, in 3 years I need to move, change country and do this job and travel a lot, can you take your dog on travels? Can you take your dog with all these changes in your job? If yes, great. You know, if not, okay, think twice. Do you have the financial resources to care for a dog? You know, because if you don't have a stable job and you know you might not have enough even for yourself, it happens. Life is full of, you know, surprises and ups and downs. So if your financial resources at this moment are not good, don't take care of a dog because you're going to have to go to the vet. Your dog might get sick at some point. That's just life, right? You need to feed your dog properly so that they have good health. You need to groom them at some point. You can groom them at home, but if you have a dog that has more grooming needs, like a poodle, might need to go to the groomer. So if you are not in a good, moment of your life, a dog might give you affection and support, emotional support, but can you, be there for your dog? So remember all that. You need to look at your life before you get a dog, beginner or not, because you were telling me as a beginner. But even if you had dogs before in your life, always look at what is your current lifestyle and what is it going to be in a few years. to make sure that you can have a dog.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joe. I think that's a lot of information for our audience today.
Okay.
So first, if you want to have a dog, please make sure that your life situation is suitable to have one. It's not just bringing a living home and you leave them home and you just go for work. It's not like that. Make sure that you have the financial status, you have all of the condition in your apartment, and especially you need to have the time and the caring that you can spend with them. So I think this is a great message for us today. And please understand your dog and love them more.
Yeah. And be kind, observe your dog, take your time with your dog, and just let them learn what they, should learn, to be able to be in that society, in that human society with our all complex rules.
On the track là một ngày mới đến, tươi về cùng nụ cười thật tươi. Đó ánh nắng bên ngoài xuyên qua cửa sổ ấm lên không khí đem mát rượi rượi. Bên cạnh ta chú cũng nhỏ vẫn đang say giấc nồng nàn, hồn nhiên như đứa trẻ con đang ở độ tuổi mê chơi và lười. Nhưng đã đến giờ dậy và hoạt động cho một ngày mới, nên ta ôm chú vào lòng mới lên để đánh thức chú một cách thoải mái. Cậu bạn lông xù khi nhìn thấy ta đôi mắt mở to hàng hái, vậy đuôi nhún nhảy như đang chuẩn bị cho hành trình bên ngoài. Bạn còn như là thích đi tìm tòi, thế giới xung quanh rộng lớn như không sợ sẽ bị mệt mỏi. Cái gì cũng dòng cùng ngó thật lâu như đang học hỏi điều hay điều tốt xung quanh.